we could have a little nudge at it. If I can virtually get into your computer.
All right,
Oh God,
listen.
gonna
Y'all
rob
gotta
you
watch out for this man
in your
Brandon, okay?
word.
Y'all seen them videos with the hackers and they like,
Where?
okay, just uh enter your credit card information and then we'll take care of your PC problems. And then you enter and give them
Then
everything
you have
and
a
they
black screen. All of a sudden, look at here. It says that something is wrong with your bank account information. Can I go ahead and call my manager real quick? On the side, I'm just getting your real card information and put it in a separate spot for later.
Oh my
who's that
God,
dude?
going to jail.
Who's that guy that pranks the hackers? What's his name? There's this one guy on YouTube,
I don't
and I
know his
know people
name.
know exactly what I'm talking about.
Which
I think,
one? There's so many of them.
but this the one who his grandma got scammed, and he was like,
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I can't
yeah,
remember his name. I know I watch his channel, but I don't know what between going on the COVID season. I've been watching a lot of scammers get pranked. So
yeah, you got to taste their own medicine. So
yes,
Brandon, watch out, okay? I'm gonna call that dude up on you, okay? If you snatch up any of our information, all right?
I wonder. Yeah, remember the honest prank guys on YouTube? Remember the guy who did prank calls?
Oh, with the voices and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, I used to watch him in high school, man.
yeah,
That
he's still
was
going
that
up.
was good times.
Yeah, I think he just did a face reveal a couple months ago, so now people know who he is.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he no longer that little face image.
Hmm. I
Yes.
wonder if how do you even get to that point? Like, I feel like I wouldn't even be able to go that long without showing my face.
It's a good question. Are
Right?
we going to do a face reveal? Well, actually, what do you mean? Our face is on the logo.
Yeah.
I don't know. My face reveal is gonna be soon. I don't know about you.
Your face reveal already happened technically because you put yourself on the thumbnail for that one episode.
Fair,
Me
but
and
they
you were
could have
debating.
assumed that I was a guest. Now I'm gonna look permanent.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. See? Solid
We will
one.
see. Season 3 coming.
Season
All
3
right,
is
y'all.
coming.
You guys ready?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right. Let's do it. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Easy Beasy podcast, where we love to keep it nice and easy. As always, joined by wonderful Lauren and Brandon. How you two doing today?
Wonderful. Said my
Pretty
name
good.
second today.
Yes, I had pretty
I
good.
said
Had a great
Lauren
workout this
and
morning.
Brandon. Apparently,
Yes.
Lauren has
No,
stuff in her ears.
man, I thought I would
I
have.
mean, I said second.
So apparently her
My
brain has been
my
scrambled.
brain, yeah.
So
Oh, man.
before you check me, young lady, make sure your brain is wired correctly. Okay. Guest for today's special today is a very special guest.
Go backward today. We're going to reverse. Let's
But today we have a very special guest with us.
yes,
Coming on to the
indeed.
show for a second time. I'm a little bit scrambled, as you guys can tell. So I'm gonna let him plug everything he's got going on. And we're here to just have a chill discussion about a certain topic we're gonna get into
Yes.
today. But I want to give you guys a quick intro, and y'all give a quick round of applause to my man Anthony. How you doing, my friend?
How y'all doing?
Coming back.
Yes.
We back.
You're back. Last
How you
time
Yes,
you
doing?
had
I'm glad y'all requested that I come back.
Of course, anytime,
Of course,
man.
of course.
Gotta have the OG
You're one of
on
my
the show
favorite
a few
guests. Why
times,
not?
you know? Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
I think you're a very awesome guest.
Yeah. All right. Listen. Let's not gas him up too much, okay? He lets his swag speak for himself. You know what I mean? You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
he can
So
walk and talk at the same time.
yeah. Let's well, how you doing, man? What's been going on with you since we last saw you?
uh, I did my what's the name of that? I did my Dave Chappelle reaction video on YouTube.
Ooh, I know that's a hot button topic issue. Everybody's talking about that. Where can they
Other
find
than-
you? Just for the
Huh?
people. Where can they find you? Just for the people who don't remember from last time.
You can find me on YouTube at Real Wise TV.
Real
You can
Wise
find me on Instagram at real_wise 718. And that's it. I kind of like started letting go of social media in certain aspects, as far as like not having it on my phone. Like I have social media, it's on the main computer at the studio, but
So how was that?
great.
Yes,
You know,
I
it's
know.
crazy is that people look at me like, why aren't you on your phone?
No.
It kind of makes it sometimes it could make a person feel like the way society is right now with everybody on their gadgets every other minute. To sit around somebody that doesn't reach for his phone, you could feel like, at sometimes if you ain't sure of your choice, like you don't have nobody to talk to, nobody, like you have no like not using it makes me feel good because it's you eliminate some of the stress that comes from just staring at posts. Some posts put people in moods, depending who you follow, depending how invested you are in the people you follow. Their mood could be your mood, and you take on energy and stuff like that. So I just been cleaning my closet of bad energy.
That's really good though, because I mean, there's plenty of studies that prove that social media you can get as addicted to it as drugs.
Yes, it's very interesting because so basically I was saying social media is addicting. It's just that it's very odd. I know that a lot of new features on smarter devices, they have, for you, have a time to, quiet down for a minute or an hour, or just leave your phone in a mode that like don't interrupt me. I'm here to chill. So it's pretty interesting how things are going with the world of phones and stuff, social media, trying to make people not use it as much.
It's almost like you're an alien if you don't use social media.
Yes.
Even though technology is so alien to us, relatively speaking, like in the grand scheme of things. Now it's like if you don't use it, if you don't have it, if it's not on you, if you don't, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like, wow, you're weird, or something's wrong or something like that. So it's funny how things have switched so rapidly. Like that's so crazy to me. I always tell people if it wasn't for what I'm doing, like I would not be on social media. Y'all can miss me with that. I don't care what. I don't care what. I mean, it's again, yeah, like you guys were saying, it definitely contributes to a lot of issues regarding mental health, regarding people's perception of themselves. It's just definitely an issue that we need to really figure out because a lot of kids are going online, seeing a bunch of stuff that they don't know how to process, they don't know how to handle, and in turn is contributing to higher suicide rates, higher a
lot of different things happen because when kids were never on devices, we were always outside being healthy. We can hang out with our friends, but now we're just out here stuck on the mobile device.
Yo, what happened to staring at the wall for hours? Man,
like you had nothing to
so
do as
bored.
a kid. You just stare at the wall, right? Yeah, or
to being that bored, huh? I bet you none of y'all know what that's like, and then y'all youngins out there.
Man, I stare at the wall almost every day.
They don't know. They don't know what hopscotch is. They don't know what skelly is. They don't know
Nah.
Chinese handball. Well,
Yeah.
I don't think that's politically correct these days, but
Yeah.
that's what they called it when I was little.
Was it the one with the pole and the balls attached to it on the string? Is that what that is? Or is that
Nah, it's
something else?
like reverse handball. So instead of hitting the ball to the wall and letting it bounce, you're hitting it to the ground and letting it bounce off the wall.
Oh, okay.
I know what that is. Like in the recess when I used to play, I think it's called like King. When you have 4 people, you can actually reverse handball to each other. If one person misses it, they're out, and we keep going
Yeah.
until yeah.
Yeah, it's like a process of elimination. I don't know. I forgot all the details, but there's so many things that we used to do.
What are some games y'all used to play when you guys were younger? Because I know there's a lot of like universal stuff, like you like you said, hopscotch. I feel like everyone's played that at least once
Yeah.
somehow.
Um,
I know
kickball. Everyone has played kickball in some way, in some form. Yeah.
I took so many L's when it came to kickball, man. I was not good.
Yeah.
I will confess. I was not my game.
What is it? When you're on the recess as a kid, you go into the monkey bar and you're playing chicken fight.
Chicken fight. That's
like when you're just kicking each other.
Oh
like when
nah.
you
See, I was a little I wasn't a G like y'all were. So I wasn't playing none of
I've
that.
never
Like,
been on the monkey bars as a child. I've always had very weak arms.
Oh,
I think I definitely went on the monkey bars, but not to like do no like I remember those
around.
nah, none of that. I remember no like them games. Nah, see now y'all jogging my memory because it wasn't even like games a lot of the times. It would just be like dumb stuff that we used to do. Like y'all remember Purple Nurple? Y'all remember that? Y'all
yeah.
I used to hate that so much, man. I'm like,
like the other thing I know is similar. You remember Name 5 cereal? I know. I don't know if you heard of that before.
Nah, what was that?
What was basically, you got like 3 seconds to name 5 cereals, and then you get a Purple Nurple.
Oh wow, y'all put a little spin on that. Wow,
Yeah.
I wish we had something creative like that. Nah, all it was, hey, what's that over there? And then you look over, and then someone just purples and nerps you. You know what I'm saying? That's it.
Remember how people used to trick us to? I know it's weird we talk about this. You remember how they put your hands up and you had the 2 in the middle? I remember people used to do that. They say you look at it, it's something. I forgot what it was. I know it's like different people.
I know. I remember the one where it was like you put your hand to their face, and if your hand is bigger than your face, then you have cancer, something like that. And he used to slap.
Do you know about any of the weird stuff they're talking about?
Say that again.
Did y'all know about any of this weird stuff that they're talking about?
Oh, nah, not me.
Oh, hold up. So let me ask you then. No, it was like, boy games or whatever, I guess, just dumb stuff, man. I at least when we were like in elementary school and stuff like that, it was just like a bunch of like I remember when like Bloody Mary was a thing.
Oh,
like,
Bloody Mary, I remember that.
Okay, yeah. All right, okay. So I got you with that one. Yeah. I never did it because I'm just saying. Again, I wasn't no G. I wasn't no G when I was in grade school, man. I was like, nah. Y'all trying to summon like a demon lady in a mirror? I'm straight. I'm good.
I mean, Truth or Dare. We used to play Truth or Dare.
Oh yeah.
We used to play
Spin the Bottle.
Spin the bottle. These days they don't even use the bottle; they just spin.
What they spin?
They just spin.
They just spin. Hey,
yeah,
boy.
they don't use the bottle.
No bottle required.
The bottle was in the way. The bottle is in the way.
They just spin and get down to it, man. Hey.
I always wanted it. I'm not sure why it's like in elementary they never played dodgeball, but I really wanted to play dodgeball for some odd reason.
Dodgeball, well, that's the in-school activities. As far as like outside, these kids just need to get outside and just enjoy being a kid. I just wish kids would
Yes.
just be kids.
Like going outside, getting riding your bike, playing around with each other, just do whatever they need.
Well,
Be like the
speaking
back.
about children's games for money is pretty fun.
Which game?
I said children's games for money is pretty fun.
What? Do tell.
Like
Yeah.
Squid Game.
Ah,
Squid Game. Children don't want to play that. Children ain't ready for that.
They don't, but I do.
that's low key do too.
I would have tried it. If we're gonna go into that, if we're gonna go into the, I would definitely had. I've definitely had times in my life where I was in a position where if something that like that presented itself, I could have been gullible enough to try it, daring enough.
Let me ask you something, Anthony. We had this debate before we got onto the live, and Lauren and I were basically going back and forth on this. But do you feel bad for the people who sign up for the game? Like not the people who signed up at first, but the ones who came back.
No,
you don't.
No.
Why don't you?
Because it's free will. The one thing I did respect about the whole Squid Game was it was free will. There's questions that they should have asked before they left the first time. Like, can multiple people make it to the end? Which would have took away all of the. It would see people don't ask that even when the money, like how we was talking about, it's like
they didn't ask that for a reason though. You have to understand, if you pay attention to the rules that they give during the games, there was plenty of loopholes to prove that you could make it to the end with more than one person.
And that's why I was baffled at these guys.
But the thing about it is, you have to realize how money and greed works for poor people is they're selfish. So of course I'm not going to want to make it to the end with multiple people, because now I'm going to have to split all this money with other people. Why would I share? So that they had no intention as individuals to share that money. Therefore, in their heads, they wanted to be the individual to win. The only people that had an intention of sharing that money with other people was that married couple. That was it. All the rest of them thought that they could be the singular person.
By the way, how stupid was that? Let's just okay. I want to say, look. I love Squid Game. I want to say this before anything else. I think it was an amazing show. I think the everything about it was great from top to bottom. Okay, but it is not immune to criticism. How stupid was that? So both the husband and the wife got invited. One of them couldn't go. Both of them had to go.
That was my thing.
Was that?
That's because both of them. That's because both of them was a part of the reason why they was in debt. Only people that was in Squid Games was all the people that was in debt, did something.
Right. That's what I kept trying to.
But if you're married, don't you share that though? Him
and his wife. She was just a major participant as he was. So they both are selected because they both
probably knowing, if you pay attention to how they acted with each other, clearly they're the type of couple that was very close and didn't want one of them to go and not make it out. So they thought that they could double their chances. And they assumed that if they go together, they could protect each other. And that was false, clearly, because they both died.
Oh, yeah. We got
no, not even that. Not even that. They actually kind of worked, but what I guess maybe the wife or husband or whatever, what they wouldn't foresee was that if one of them died, and by the way, spoiler alert.
Yep, that's what I'm about to say.
Lauren, I'm not gonna lie to you. You kind of segued into it like a little.
Okay,
a little harshly. You I had a whole thing planned, but it's okay.
That's what happens with this Squid Games.
But yeah. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert, guys.
When one of them died, the other one just gave up. So that kind of didn't even work anyway.
He gave up, all right. I would be disappointed in my husband. As soon as we met up in the afterlife, I'm duking it out, and then we're going to hell together right after. Because no, no, how dare you? How dare you? We even played marbles together. Like she had to say her goodbye. And he was just like, oh, can't do this. Come on. He could have tried. He could have tried a little harder than that.
Not if you feel that not if you feel that she died because of you. That's a lot of
I feel like
mentally you could tell they was the weakest links in the whole out of the whole the whole group. Yeah. They was the weakest link. So they did it, but they didn't really want to do it. And then they did it and they didn't really want to not be together at the end. So
which is fair. And my thing is, I feel like he might have survived a little longer, probably at least until the last game, had Sang-woo not have said what he said, which kind of pushed him in, like, indirectly to suicide. So that's my opinion on that matter.
Yeah, he was upset. He said some harsh shit to people.
Yeah.
He did more than say harsh stuff. That was a sad, sad man.
Yeah, but he was one that was really not trying to get all the money by himself. He was really trying to help people live. They just never asked so that everybody could know they didn't have to push people off of ledges and stuff. If they could win, what's the maximum amount of people that could walk out of here with money? That'd have been the one question I would ask. When they say you could leave, and they say you could leave, and everybody was like, it's over, and the first time it was more people saying no, none of them asked that question. All right, cool, we can leave. If we choose to stay, can multiple people win? And if they would have asked that, they'd have still been killing each other, but it would have been, the alliance wouldn't have been so skeptical.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
So I was going to say something like this. At the start of it, Squid Game is actually a game made for the blind. It's called Time Crisis. And one chapter, spoiler, it's the same scenario. It's one person who wants to save everyone, but at the end, they end up killing everyone. At the start of that scenario, because I thought at the start in my head just now.
I don't think that it's so what kind of, I don't know, what kind of and again, I'm not saying like I don't understand everybody's actions, like who were participating in the game, because again, when it's a life or death scenario like that, you kind of you kind of have to throw everything out the window. But when, like, one thing I noticed about that one guy, I think he was 218. He's either 218 or 219. One thing I noticed about him from the very, and I told Lauren this while we were watching it, but one thing I noticed about him was that the second game, he knew what it was, and he knew what exactly like they were gonna, with the shapes, and he didn't tell 456. He didn't tell him because he was like, oh, okay, well, I don't want to tell him because, then if he dies, it'll make it easier for him to not win. And thinking about it, it's like that right there should have told you, because and we were talking about this too, like indirectly or directly, I feel like that still counts as killing someone. Like, the rules to the game, you guys all form a group to help each other out, and then what's gonna happen and you don't tell the other person. I feel like you're indirectly dooming somebody.
But keep in mind, the only reason Sang-woo ended up in that group is because his cousin kept pushing it on him. So
you didn't have to do anything.
Facial expression. I understand, but you can tell the facial expressions and everything that Sang-woo wanted nothing to do with anybody.
So he shouldn't have did. So he
shouldn't have did it.
So he shouldn't have grouped up with them. He's not an innocent
party.
That
was the best group. That was the smartest group. Only because the blind man knew what was coming. So the blind man could definitely navigate them through. Whoever ended up on his team will always win.
By the way, that I think that was
not the blind man. Was he blind? No, the old man.
No, old man. Yeah. Yeah. By the way, that was pretty nuts. I was definitely I kind of, what's funny? Like I figured that the person who was in charge was like somebody we had already seen. And I figured it was probably like an older person because like the whole thing with the kids games and stuff like that. I don't know, it was something told, but something always, I mean, when he died, right? I was like, oh, okay, it's not him. But obviously that wasn't the case.
No, for me,
So
as soon as when he was talking about I need to find my house, and when he found his house and he was explaining how he used to stand at the light pole or something and watch the kids and they wouldn't even know he was there. They wouldn't see him. And then when you watch Jihan walk away as the old man was about to die, Jihan was right behind the light pole as that old man died, and you could not see that old man anywhere in that
yeah,
picture.
you didn't see his
So
death.
for
You
me,
didn't,
that wasn't
yeah.
proof. That wasn't proof
Nah.
because everybody else, I saw their dead bodies. So everyone else, I knew they were gone. They didn't show his body. So that's why I was like, no, he's still alive. That's the one. And it hurt worse for me because they made him the most likable character besides Ali up until that point. And that's why I was just like, that's
And
terrible.
And right there was where I got they befriend you. The enemy
Yeah.
always
Yeah.
the enemy will always be friend.
And that's why I say I'm not feeling bad for, or I don't think he was forced to join the group. 218. I don't think he was forced to join the group. I think he did that on purpose because he wanted to get
I mean, I feel like it's more so he might be right. Adaze's onto something.
Yeah, he's onto
It's
something.
more so, yeah, he's onto something. I think it's more so that it's not that he wanted to join for the old man, though. I think he saw the strength that they could have because he at that point it was already proven that Ali was really strong. And he clearly still, because Jihan's his cousin, he had some sort of heart ties tugged.
Yeah.
And then the
Yeah.
old man seemed to be smart, so he stayed for strategy. That's true. He did stay for strategy. I will give that a truth. But my thing is, what?
Who stood for strategy?
Sang Woo,
Oh,
the serial killer man. That's what I'm calling him from now on. I don't like him much.
you didn't like him?
He murdered two of my softest favorite characters. No, I don't like that man.
Listen, he was the one. He was the one that didn't at no point.
No, because they could have survived together, and he didn't want to give anybody a chance because he was selfish and self-centered.
I'm agreeing with you that he was the one out of anybody. If you didn't, that you knew, there was a couple of them that you knew wasn't sharing.
Oh yeah,
the one that slept with the lady in the bathroom. The one that slept with the lady the one that slept in the lady in the bathroom. She was not. I mean, he was not sharing the money with anybody. Sang Woo or whatever that dude.
She was gonna. That crazy lady was going to figure out who she can leech onto to get to the end and then backstab them anyway. I firmly believe that would have been totally her character. So I don't think she had any intention of sharing either, as well as Sang Woo.
Honestly, I think she would have shared. I think she was riding. Who got there. I think she was riding with whoever. If that big Chinese dude that she slept with would have just kept on the team that next round and just kept her, she would have did whatever he said. She wasn't a planner. She was just a follower, and she was following whatever she thought was strongest.
True.
And she ended up on a team out of anger because she slept with him, thought that they had a bond, and then the next group
dropped her like a bad habit.
Yeah.
So my thing is though, back on the old man real quick. Sorry to interrupt. But when it comes to the old man, it kind of rubbed me the wrong way that not only was he like a rich person and behind all of it, but if you pay attention to the end of like the scene where he's in the hospital bed or whatever, the way he was talking about that homeless man was completely different to how he talked while he was playing the games. And it just proved how fake that man was and how his true feelings were hidden that entire time, that he thought all of them were scum.
Yeah. At least
And now,
he at least reached
huh?
out to the winner. I mean, I gave him a little respect for reaching out to the winner.
He only reached out because he liked. That was my thing. He only reached out to Ji Hung because he liked him. If he hadn't liked the winner, I don't think he would have reached out to him.
Yeah, there's some truth to that too. I could see that.
Right, because it was proven pretty much that he was just one of the rich snobby men that was just bored and just wanted an adrenaline rush. That's all they were to him, was an adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
Yeah, they definitely was horses.
Which is so sad because, in all honesty, that's most likely exactly how rich people look at us.
But is it? We do bet on horses. We do bet on dogs. We bet on animals that really don't have no way to defend themselves at their lowest.
Not even that. We bet on
chicken.
people though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
We bet on sports.
So at a grander scheme, they just is playing the same games that they taught us, but at a grander scheme. So is it if anything, it makes me not be mad at any of the characters in any way. It was more like that the government is fucked up.
They gotta put it. Yeah, the government is fucked up.
Yeah, like the world, the rich, the billionaires, they're fucked up. Yo, they got mental health issues, man. There's no way that you could find excitement in watching 456 people kill themselves. You gotta be crazy.
But
yeah,
I mean,
you had to be crazy.
You gotta.
This was alluded to back in Hunger Games. Remember when Hunger Games was big?
Yeah,
it's
mad movies. There's mad movies. You go back, you'll find a Squid Game probably every 10 years. There's a different
you probably would.
There's a different movie that shows you a bunch of people under duress that have to act like crabs in a bucket.
Yeah.
Because the rich just wanted some sort of entertainment for that time.
Yes. So they won't be
bored. I love one of the things I loved was the scene where the guy is looking at them, one of the rich people, and they're like, "Oh, look at them, such animals," while he has an animal mask on. I think he was,
which is so ironic,
or something like that. The irony in that, I definitely peeped that, and I just love how there's definitely. I love when shows have commentary, about real world issues, but it's so layered in the story and in such a meticulous and precise way that it doesn't come across as like forced or preachy or anything like that. Like, there's a lot of symbolism in the show. There's a lot of social commentary in the show. And I think, the stuff that, the obvious stuff like, like, I mean, and they spelled out some of it at the end. Right. With the with talking about what's the difference between a rich person with too much money and person without any money is that they're bored of life or life has drained them or something like that. And it's like, well, and also the person coming to help that homeless guy at the end, he was like, how much you want to bet that they wouldn't help them? By the way, do you think he saw before he died?
You think what?
Do you think the old man saw before he died the person get help?
I think he saw.
Yeah.
You lost me. What part of the show you at?
That was at the end. That was at the very end.
The very end.
Yeah. When he told him to look out the window.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think that.
Do you think the old man saw him? The homeless man get saved. Yeah.
No, I think he died. I think he died with that on. Like that's the crazy thing about junkies in any aspect, gambling, because that's what they did. They were just betting on people, like bored people.
Yeah.
He didn't really want to know. He just wanted to know if what's his name would bet him. That's it. It was just to see
So in the end, even though it
that
felt
you
like
still
she's
would
on
take a
her
You
chance.
still betting on
You'll still bet.
Yes.
You won't bet on you got rich. We told you that we used y'all because we told you that the way you trying to chastise us about betting on people's lives, you bet on horses. And then towards the end of the movie, before I die, I'm gonna prove you ain't shit again. Will you bet everything you got on that homeless person dying? So now he's betting that the guy will get saved. But at the end of the day, you're betting on a person. So what we did to you with all the money you got and wanting to flip it, you was willing to bet on a human. And that goes to show that he wasn't no better than those guys sitting in that room because you still betting on people. He was supposed to deny the bet if he was going to be the person that he put all the way up until that point that everybody thought he was. But he turned around.
Which is exactly why at the end, that's probably why he didn't go to his daughter and was so adamant on saving, because he didn't have to get back involved, but he did. He probably still felt guilty about that.
Yeah,
You're
they
right.
did show in the show that he had
he betted on a human. He betted on a human, just like those rich people that he asked, why are you betting on people?
And you know,
it's hypocritical.
Once
you get too much money, it's very hypocritical of people.
Yeah, you know what it is? Is that he has the power himself to go out there and save that guy. Instead of sitting and watching him, right? Like
he could have went outside himself.
He literally could have went outside himself.
Yes.
So Anthony is 100% on the money. Like, you're no better because you're sitting there watching from a distance through a window above, like literally standing above this person, right? Trying to see what they would do or what would happen to them in a deadly situation or a precarious situation. And you're sitting over here mad at me, but you have the same mentality. You're willing to do the same thing.
You're fully capable to go down.
In the end, it's like he says, "Old man, you lost," but did he really lose?
And
I don't think he did.
That's life right there. And people will always see how much, as you get more money, there's always people that want to know how much more money you're willing to get and what you will do for it.
Yes.
And the scary thing is, you'll never know what a person will do for it, no matter how much you think you know a person, until that time is presented.
Yes.
I think I do know what people would do for it, because at the end of the day, that's it. It depends on how much desperation they are, and I think anyone can resort to exactly what they did in the Squid Game with enough desperation.
Yeah,
I agree with that 1,000%.
Lauren, you keeping me alive? If we in the Squid Game, you keeping me alive?
Huh?
Right? You keeping me alive, friend?
Let me see which game she would have did you dirty.
Well, yeah, which way? At what point would Lauren have done me dirty? Honestly, the first
just
game.
offer our.
Would be red light, green light.
I think it would have been in that glass game.
I think that's where I think you would have died, Capo. Right there.
Yeah, I think that would be because she'll probably push you in and see if it was like
because you always say that wasn't a G, and Lauren's trying to get across. So while you sitting there looking at that glass trying to figure out which one, she might just want to know personally.
I'm curious too.
Yeah, I'm not.
I want to know if the glass breaks
I'm not
too,
going to
huh?
play this. I'm not going to play this game with Lauren.
Yeah,
you gotta let Lauren. That game, you gotta let go. You gotta pick the highest number. Tell you the truth, while I learned about that.
Brandon, I'm gonna be honest. You would have been out the first game. I'm gonna follow
I know.
behind. Yep. And if you don't freeze, that's
the red light, green light was serious.
Yeah.
That shocked me. That was the best way to start it with all the killers.
When I tell you, when I heard this, when I tell y'all that is straight out the nightmare, man.
That's the scariest. Nobody when you hear that sound, you know you dying.
It's over. Game over. Everyone's out.
Those are those movies where they be like, why did he stay? He's like, no. Once I heard that, I try. You seen they try to get back to the door, they got shot. It was no way out of that.
Yeah.
It was very
As soon as the first, like, as soon as we would have realized that someone got shot and died,
Yeah, I would
I'm
not have moved.
moving.
Yeah, what is wrong? Like, you know what I'm saying? I know it's of course you would say that, but like I will admit that would be probably that game and maybe the honeycomb game or whatever it's called. The
or the one with
what were
the shapes.
Yeah, that one, those two I'd probably do. After that, I wouldn't be able to do it. But the first game, yeah, that first person gets shot. Why are you running away to the door?
I know
Y'all
it's
think,
like
y'all think, oh yeah, you're free to go.
Well, you gotta understand fear responses because if
my
you
fear
don't
response is to freeze in place.
Yeah,
that's my
Same.
fear response.
Yeah,
So-
but for other people, like I've seen this in movie, like they hear something, they see something, they get frightened. But in common sense, if I see that, I'm just gonna sit here and let y'all do what you guys want, and I'm gonna keep going on and win.
Oh, though, you know what the issue is though is that you had to make it across the line before the time was up.
Yeah, so I noticed that. So,
So-
yeah, I can. Yeah, so,
so
I
actually-
would have been killed already by that time.
So actually, I don't even know about the first.
like I said, I'd go behind you. We do this together. Whether or not you survive because
I'd
like
go behind
we
you,
moved while we
actually.
froze.
Ladies
isn't
first.
my problem.
Lauren
But,
loves to go
no.
first in every single other thing except for this. Y'all noticed that, right? She loves going first. Say my name first. I go. I need to be introed first. I need to, but
Wanna know
when it
something?
comes to this,
Wanna know something?
what's up?
I'd go last during that glass game though.
Nah, you go first, Lauren. You gotta take one. You gotta take one for the team, literally. You got
Yeah,
to.
I like that scene when they had the guy who was actually a glass worker and he was looking at it and see which glasses is real and not, and then turn off the lights on him, and so you couldn't tell.
That's crazy,
That
man.
was ridiculous.
And that lets you know, the whole integrity thing of the integrity of the game, all that is like that's all like nonsense. Because they will change the rules on you anytime, even if you find. And Lauren was talking about there were so many loopholes, blah 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 blah. I honestly feel like that's really a hit or miss thing. Like they let the lady survive because she didn't have a partner, even though one of the rules was if you can't play the game, you're not playing the game, then you die. But then on the flip side, they said that there are only 3 rules. Everything else, is there's no other rules other than that. And when the guy exploits one of the loopholes and can tell the difference between the 2 glass, they just turn off the lights on him. It's like,
well, they never
it's
said
just-
they weren't gonna turn off the lights though. That was something they didn't specify.
well, no, but that's what I'm saying. Like they say, whatever rules we tell you, that's it.
Man,
You know what I'm saying?
like
That's
you
the only
said,
thing you have to know. But that's not true because they didn't say, oh, well, if
I
you
feel like,
find out a loophole, we'll change the rules on you. Like it's just they just wanted to have entertainment and fun at the end of the day. It
I
really
feel
does.
like
No
as soon
one
as
can.
VIPs came, it was different. Prior to
Yeah.
the VIPs, they didn't do anything shady. But as soon as the VIPs came, that was different because you have to realize those VIPs were ruthless and what they wanted went because they were insolent children with how rich that they were.
Yeah, but
So it was
also,
right.
also they the elite that came in, they was making personal bets on particular players.
Oh yeah.
oh yeah,
They was mad. The dude, the one that went in the bathroom with the guy,
Mhm.
he was betting on I don't know his name again. 456. So,
Oh.
so at the end, when 456 grabbed 16, he was super upset because he wanted him to grab 1, still not knowing what was coming about. They didn't know what the game was. So he already had placed a bet on his horse. So to see, so if the last 16, the ones that wasn't being betted on, of course you could kill them. You could cheat. Because the ones that was being betted on, most of them died. You seen a couple of them pissed off that one guy didn't do this right. One guy, every time somebody died and that dude was knocking the thing off the chessboard or whatever glass board, there was certain rich people that was super furious.
And really,
You're
was
right.
it was the front man too.
Yeah, because
Who
they
did
was
that?
playing, they was placing
Yeah.
bets per game. So money was being betted on a person per round. And as the dude was running through the thing and messing up everything because they wanted to catch him, it forced everybody's hand at some point to where everything was speeding up now. And they wanted to make sure that the bettors, because it's always about your customers. Customers is always right. So because the customers is upset at how things is playing out because they kept picking the wrong horse, the guy tried to help and make sure that all of them didn't get across so that the next game they could see more of the griminess.
Right.
You couldn't technically they shouldn't have been so obvious when they figured something out. Like you don't play your hand letting them know you figured it out.
Yeah, but you have to understand, it's not like they knew that they were being watched or that this whole thing was after for rich people. They didn't assume that. So they just assumed that someone generous was kidnapped all of us and was going to let us win money for each dead body.
Someone
That was
generous
found.
kidnapped all of us. I
And
love
that's
that.
why and that's why I'll never feel bad. Because if you think someone generous you were, how dumb is dumb? How dumb is
But you
dumb?
gotta understand, a lot of those people were so desperate. I don't think they care.
Anthony. Lauren just wants someone to justify her trying to join because she would join in half a second.
I would join still, even after.
I don't have anything to lose. I'm gonna be honest.
I would join if I would do something that, like, if they did that, like how they do the American Ninja thing, I would do that. You just can't kill me.
But I'm surprised the mathematician guy
joined.
I'm surprised he joined, considering the odds for him to win were not in his favor. I'm actually shocked. That man, you saw that man. He was the square root of pi equals 3.14 over the hypotenuse. He was doing all them calculations in that game just to fall through that glass, man. Yeah. But he did get to like what 3 or 4 of them before he fell through.
He got 4 ahead. Yeah. Which is impressive.
Very impressive. All right, I'm gonna ask y'all a few questions, and of course, all of you gonna probably have different answers. Favorite game. Favorite game
as in
I want to go last.
To play or to watch?
Both. You can say both.
Okay. Watch. Favorite game to watch? Football. No, I'm lying.
No. On this show. On the show.
Favorite game on the show.
Yeah.
On Squid Game.
Yes.
My favorite was I kind of was on the tug of war thing, man. That was kind of fun. I would have liked to see what kind of team I would have had. But tug of war, you had I ain't gonna lie, well, the way it happened, how it happened, my favorite game is red light, green light. Like that was crazy. Like none of the other games was as crazy as red light, green light. I'm not gonna be playing marbles. I could care less about walking on glass. Plus, I'm afraid of heights. So that's definitely not my favorite game. Yeah.
Play tug of war?
Nah, the tug of war. No, the red light, green light is my favorite game.
Okay.
I would say mine. Well, go ahead, Brandy.
But what was a good game?
Okay, so I think, like you said, I would love to watch the red light, green light one, but after I learned the Squid Game one, like it's an old classic Korean game that they used to play on the playgrounds, I want to play that one.
Yeah, I didn't really understand it until Lauren explained it to me yesterday, and I'm like, okay, that does.
Which game?
Squid Game. The
Squid Game, last one.
The last one. What's the last one?
That was the one with the.
I just started watching that.
The squid head with the offense and defense. You have to get to the top of the triangle, like the circle on top.
I didn't understand. That was a real Chinese game. Like that was.
I don't know. Once I watched it, it clicked. It's actually not that.
Yeah,
not-
once it yeah, it's not that complicated. Because I didn't get it when I was watching, and I told her I was like, I don't understand this. She tried to explain to me, I was like, I still don't get it. But yesterday when she explained it, I was like, okay, it's not really that difficult. It's just like it has there's phases to it. That's why it kind of
Yeah.
Yeah. And like a normal game of Squid Game, you're probably okay. But you playing Squid Game like the one in the show, like it could be a little
With
crazy.
9?
I'm bringing a Glock. What y'all talking about? You not getting across. You not getting across, bro.
Where you putting that?
You not moving, fam. I'm not playing that game, man. You getting
across the glass?
Yeah, the cross, because you have to.
This is why I said you would get pushed.
Yes, right.
Because you was on the clock. At the end of the day, as much fear as a person was dealing with in that game, you, the last man, number 16, is on the clock. Number 2 is on the clock for number 1. Number 2 is on the clock. Number 3 is on the clock. Somebody's
talking
getting
about
pushed.
the glass.
Yeah, somebody's
getting pushed. Yeah, okay, yeah.
Somebody's getting pushed. Don't let me be 7. Don't let me be 6. You better hope I'm 1. Because I am not hesitating to push you when you decide to stop and look like you don't know nothing. All right, figure it out. I'll help you.
By the way, what was with the end where they blew up the glass for no reason? Like, you see what I'm saying? Just stuff like that. Like, y'all, they're just so rude and disrespectful. Like,
Adaza, your favorite games?
My favorite game probably was the marble game. Not necessarily because of the game itself, because there was no game technically. Like they had to make it themselves, but I did like. I guess I like just like the scene of it, and the fact they had to come up with their own game,
right?
The fact that they like the twist of you have to compete against the person you choose as your partner, and that was pretty cool. So I like that.
You do that in real life and play marbles.
Marbles of death. Hey man,
And which one would you play?
I would definitely play the shapes one, because but that's because I know the rules. So.
Oh, that's such a simple one. Oh my god.
That's one I would play. I'm trying to survive, man. Come on.
Me personally,
I'm trying to survive.
I like watching the last one. That was actually the most interesting, because being that we only had they only had 16 minutes. They didn't even get a full 20.
Yeah, shout out to that lady. What's her name?
Yeah, definitely.
She gave a fantastic performance.
Yes,
her number is slipping.
Y'all wanted to stand around and pray and do math equations and make love on these glass. Jump, bro. Jump. Yeah. They had me heated. But I'd be really.
It is glass, and under the glass is 50 feet of your ass is dead.
And and you know what sucked is even if you did survive, whenever they killed you, they just took your body and incinerated it, or in other cases just dismembered it for organs.
Because they meant nothing.
Wow.
They were cattle.
The missing is never looked for.
Exactly. And being that
if they was loved ones, if any of them was really loved, they probably wouldn't have. Oh, you see that dude went because of his brother.
Yeah.
Find out his brother is the one that was down with it.
Oh yeah.
Right.
You have to have somebody that really loves you to even think to
come
look
for you. But I will say, personally, what game I would play, I would actually play the marbles game, specifically because of the loophole that I found, which I told Adaze.
Okay.
Can I?
Okay, go ahead and explain it.
Loophole? Thank you. The rules of the marbles game was you can come up with any game you wanted. Any game, as long as you won your opponent's 10 marbles. Now, the funny part about this is if you listen carefully, they never said you had to have all 20. They never specified that I needed all 20 marbles. They said I had to end up with my opponent's marbles. Specifically, they repeated it twice. So why didn't you play a marbles game where you traded your marbles so both of y'all would have your opponent's marbles? Then we both would have lived.
That makes sense,
and
right? Yeah.
I would also like to state, why would they have thought if they said, get a partner? What partner games would you play where your partner would live in this scenario? Logically, like realistically, what duo games do you play that aren't competitive? So that was on them for picking their friends. They should have picked people they didn't care about, because common sense, if I'm playing a 2-player game, it's me versus you. So I didn't have sympathy for them in that scenario because they were stupid for picking their friends. That was on them.
Didn't they have to choose teams in the previous game, or?
I think they had to tug of war. Right?
The tug of war, but you didn't have to stay with the same team.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you didn't have to stay. The tug of war was people thinking you had to be super strong. So the old man being on whoever team he was on was going to win.
Yeah, there we go.
Like it was bad. He talked them right through that. And then the one that was real shisty.
Yeah.
Sung Woo is the one that figured out to lean back. Oh no,
to move forward and then
and all that. It was like some trick shit.
Yeah,
but
he basically, because they're pulling so hard that if you move forward fast enough, they're gonna fall over, and then you can pull them back
and then just drag them.
Yeah.
But do you think that? Let's throw a question at that scenario. Do you think that if they went about it the way Lauren is saying they should have went about, pick somebody you don't give a fuck about, do you think it wouldn't have been even worse when I know that you picked me like I'm a sucker? I would have did whatever to take your marbles.
That's what happened.
It wouldn't have been no game because you picked me thinking that you was gonna kill me.
Well, that's what happened with the dude with the tattoo, right? He didn't really care about the dude he was partnered with. He was just a part of his gang, but he didn't really care about him. And he ended up winning because he convinced him, and I don't know why he agreed to that, but he convinced him to switch games.
That was fair. He was right. You picked the
game.
But
my thing is hypothetically, let's say that I did pick someone that I didn't care about. Wouldn't it have been harder to pick someone that was on one of their, like, let's say like the main team? Imagine you pick one of them. Imagine you were the unlucky soul to pick Sang-woo. Like, if you pick someone that's on your team, clearly you picked your team because they were either strong or smart. And if you ended up with someone who was smart, I wouldn't want to play marbles with them. So, of course, I would pick someone that I didn't care about. Hopefully, I've been paying attention to everybody so that I can pick someone that I would assume wouldn't be all that smart, and that I could pick a smart game to outsmart them and they die. That's on them. This isn't something that you go into without some sort of strategy to live, and something that you're not thinking about. What children's game would we play next, depending on how many partners we're supposed to have? This is a game that you're supposed to sit down and think. If you're going to go in here and risk your life for this money, you should be thinking, not just going through blindly and be like, let's make friends and trust each other. Like, no, this isn't what this is about.
Now, Lauren, they didn't know marbles until after they picked a partner.
But common sense, if I'm playing a 2-player game.
That's not common sense. Nothing about that. Nothing about anything they were going into was common sense.
That's what I'm saying. Common sense is out the window.
Yeah,
we already know common sense is out the window.
It's easy to say because we're watching it, but like if you're in it, it's like you literally don't know what's gonna happen.
Do you think that 4, 5, 6 would have picked number 1? If not, if he knew that it was marbles.
Not. But my thing is, you wouldn't assume what game it was. But
you wouldn't assume that you're gonna kill your partner. They lied. They was like, "Yo, you gotta have a partner."
Let's say, as a watcher, when I first watched that episode specifically, my first thought was, it's a competitor game, so whoever I go against is probably gonna die. Because that was my thought. Genuinely,
that's a good thought.
You would have lived then.
Yeah, that was a good thought.
You would have lived.
Tug of war. They said pick 2 teams of 10. I'm assuming that either we're going to do something where we have to work together as a team and another team will die. The whole point of all of these games is for somebody to die.
Or it could have been pick teams of 10. 10 people are going at a time.
True,
and like
fair,
whoever wins out of the 10 people moves on. You know what I'm saying? You just don't know. Like, there's no way.
Once they said kid games, once they said we was playing kid games, it would have. There's so many games that I could see them
many.
using that would have caused somebody to die. Like there's so many games that you could have fooled somebody. You could have said, "Yo, basketball," and then 5 people got to play, and 5, and you think
y'all
you
seen
think
that?
I'm
Y'all
playing.
seen that? If black people were in Squid Game, y'all seen that?
I was shocked. Yo, listen, let's get since we're gonna talk about race. Why would they do the Pakistan people like that, man? And just put one there.
why.
I mean, you know, it's always
One, nobody else.
It's-
Not
it's
even
always
a.
like
I don't even think there was a white guy.
Well, that's because it's set in Korea. To be
There
fair.
was no white. All right, Koreans.
They were the rich people.
There are white people in Korea.
They were the rich people.
There was no white guy.
Oh, that's
white
I
people
feel
were
like
the
that is
rich
also
people.
on purpose. Yeah, that is also on purpose.
And
The
that
only
showed
white people you saw were the
Americans
rich people in the
to
mask.
accents.
Yeah,
but all the people that was betting was white. You couldn't find one white person that messed up money.
No, I guess not in Korea.
You
Hey,
could.
then you got to think about it.
Oh yeah, it was in Korea. So white.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
they out there. They out there. They everywhere. They everywhere. They
But
ain't
them
all
VIPs
smart.
not trying to see
You're
their
not gonna
peeps go
sit there and
down.
say, you're not gonna portray all the white people in Korea to be smart and not fuck up money and not be doing no grimy shit.
Well, it's who they targeted, right? It's not necessarily who was there. It's not like it was random.
They was going for more than 456.
Yeah.
Nobody else called. They was trying to get like 800. I thought the number was. They had a number. It was way more than 456. They looked disappointed. It was only 456.
I didn't even pay attention.
They were doing that.
Yeah, check that part out. They was disappointed that it was only 456.
And the fact that they were doing it since what was it, 1982?
Yeah, they was expecting a high rate of people that messed up.
They was doing this since the 1980s, man. That's
Which my
incredible.
thing is, my point of view on this is they've been doing this from 1982, which means y'all have been kidnapping people off the streets and nobody's noticed these large lump sums of bodies coming missing since 1982, which brings me back to what you said yesterday about like pointing at the government, which like makes sense.
Yeah,
because look at all the real life people that are missing that the police and stuff aren't paying attention to and looking for. Like, where did all these people go, y'all?
They went to the upper room.
Best way to segue to our ending.
Yeah. Well, all right, y'all. This has been a great conversation. You guys check out Squid Game if you haven't already. Bring your kids along too. They'll love it. Absolutely.
Too late.
Yeah, they would definitely love it. They would definitely love it.
There's a lot of kid games in there. So
your kids will never play. Your kids will never play red light, green light again. If you said
those kids will never sleep again after that. What you mean? They're not going to sleep. As always, I really appreciate you, man.
Yes.
Coming out here again. You know, you can shout out whatever you can shout out. You know, let the people
Whatever
know where to find you.
I'm just gonna shout out my Real Wise family. Wise El Jefe, check them out. Stuck in My Mind podcast. Brandy, Miss Joy, check her out. Voices of Courage, Ladies Life. Hers and His podcast, which I co-host with her, talking about my first book, Confessions of a Man, that's on Amazon now. The Plush Life, I just got a verification, the final thumbs up from my editor, so I will be getting a copy, ironically, on Halloween to read and give my thumbs up. And then first week in November, you'll be able to catch The Plush Life, YouTube, YouTube, bugging. The Plush Life, it is Amazon, Kindle, and for autograph copies directly from me and the Real Wise production company.
Gotcha.
All right, there you go.
Yes.
Go ahead and check them out. All right, y'all. This is the end of season number 2. Got to give a quick shout out to everybody.
I keep forgetting that I made the last cut. Oh,
absolutely.
That's great.
Yes.
You know.
So it's been a very fun time with everyone here, our guests, friends, whoever came onto the show. I want to say one special thing to a guest that was here. Tony, congratulations on your engagement. You're a lucky man.
Woo,
yes.
Woo, woo.
Engagement.
Yeah, no joke.
Congratulations.
So, yeah, so Woo!
Go ahead.
So yes, season 2 was a blast. We met Anthony, of course. We
Of
play a little.
course.
We play a little checkmate with him, you know. And we just did a lot of cool stuff. This was the really fun season 2. We enjoyed it a lot. And when season 3 comes, we're bringing even harder. Where we come back stronger and better as always. As we always like to say, we want you to leave a like, subscribe, comment, and like we always say here, we want you to stay easy and stay busy.